Could Vietnam become Asia's next economic powerhouse by 2026? Experts are saying yes, and not just cautiously, but confidently. With disciplined fiscal and monetary management, Vietnam could see its GDP growth surge as high as 10%, an almost unheard-of number for an emerging market. This bold prediction was made at the Vietnam Investment Forum 2026 in Ho Chi Minh City, where economists gathered to discuss the nation's impressive momentum and its roadmap for sustainable expansion. The mood was one of optimism, tempered by realism. Speakers stressed that such growth won't come automatically. It requires careful balance. Vietnam's ability to maintain stable exchange rates, control inflation, and manage interest rates will be the defining factors. The country has already shown remarkable resilience through global uncertainty, with consistent growth between 6.5% and 7% over the past few years. Now it stands at a crossroads where sound policy could propel it to new heights. At the heart of this optimism lies the confidence in Vietnam's macroeconomic fundamentals. Lê Anh Tuan, CEO of Dragon Capital, a leading foreign asset management firm, noted that exchange rate stability remains the cornerstone of investor confidence. He explained that when businesses can plan without fear of sudden currency shocks, they invest more aggressively, hire more workers, and contribute to stronger long-term growth. Tuan added that as long as the exchange rate remains steady, monetary policy can remain accommodative, supporting lending and domestic demand. Inflation risks, he said, are still relatively contained, mainly because domestic consumption, while growing, has not yet reached the point of overheating prices. This gives the government and the State Bank of Vietnam room to maneuver. But Tuan warned that consistency is key. Even minor missteps in policy execution could erode trust and momentum quickly. Other economists echoed similar sentiments, emphasizing that Vietnam's financial stability is a product of deliberate, well-coordinated policy actions. World Bank economist Sacha Dre highlighted Vietnam's strong foreign exchange reserves, which act as a safety net against global volatility. This, he said, gives the central bank flexibility to step in when markets turn turbulent. Dre praised Vietnam's adaptability, pointing to its ability to adjust policy swiftly in response to changing global interest rate cycles and capital flows. He called this a hallmark of a maturing economy, one that is no longer purely reactive, but strategically proactive. Yet the challenge ahead lies in fine-tuning the balance, easing enough to stimulate growth, but not so much that inflation rears its head again. Dre's outlook was clear. If Vietnam continues on this disciplined path, it could stand as a regional model for sustainable, high-speed growth. Still, there are signs that not everything will be smooth sailing. Domestic interest rates, for instance, have started to edge up even as global rates decline. This is partly due to rising domestic borrowing demand and tightening liquidity in the local market. Dang Van Tang, chairman of TTC Group, called this the triad of challenges that Vietnamese businesses face: exchange rates, interest rates, and inflation. Each must be managed carefully, or the others will become destabilized. Tang emphasized that in every economic cycle, there are winners and losers. The key, he said, lies in how well businesses adapt to shifting conditions. Strong financial management, digital transformation, and innovation are now essential for survival. The government, meanwhile, must ensure that policies remain predictable, fostering trust among domestic and international investors alike. Despite these challenges, the momentum in Vietnam's economy remains undeniable. Lê Du Bing, director of Economica Vietnam, noted that even through global headwinds, from post-pandemic recovery hurdles to geopolitical tensions, the country's growth has remained steady, often surpassing 8% in its best years. This, he said, is proof that Vietnam's economic fundamentals are not just solid, but strengthening. The country's export engine continues to drive impressive numbers. Total trade turnover for 2025 is projected to hit between 800 and 850 billion US dollars, a record-breaking figure that underscores the competitiveness and reputation of Vietnamese goods in global markets. Vietnam is no longer just a low-cost manufacturing hub. It's evolving into a center of high-value production, with technology, textiles, and electronics leading the way. But it's not only exports driving this growth story. Domestic consumption has emerged as a powerful force. With a population of over 100 million people, rising incomes, and expanding urbanization, Vietnam's retail and service sectors are booming. Experts expect revenues in these industries to rise between 9 and 11% in 2025, signaling a surge in consumer confidence. This consumption-driven growth provides balance against the risks of over-reliance on exports. When people spend more at home on food, travel, housing, and technology, the economy becomes more resilient to external shocks. Analysts believe that this internal strength could help Vietnam weather potential downturns in global demand, especially as advanced economies like the US and Europe face slower recoveries. Public investment has also become a powerful growth engine. The government has accelerated infrastructure development, increasing disbursement rates for major projects across transportation, energy, and urban development. These initiatives are not just about physical construction, they are about unlocking long-term productivity. Every new highway, port, and power plant adds capacity for businesses to operate more efficiently and connect to global markets. Economists say this wave of public spending, if maintained responsibly, can create a crowding-in effect, encouraging private investors to follow suit. Already, Vietnam has seen a surge in foreign direct investment, with both new and returning enterprises drawn by its political stability and expanding consumer base. Resolution number 68 NQTW from the Politburo has played a key role in streamlining business conditions and boosting investor confidence. Beyond the numbers, what makes Vietnam's story so compelling is its resilience and adaptability. The country has consistently turned global challenges into opportunities, leveraging its skilled workforce, stable governance, and favorable trade relationships. International investors increasingly view Vietnam as a safe and promising alternative amid shifting global supply chains. Experts say that maintaining policy consistency and transparency will be crucial as the country aims to hit that ambitious 8 to 10% growth target in 2026. It's not just about growing fast, it's about growing smart. That means promoting green investment, digital innovation, and sustainable development while keeping inflation and inequality in check. As long as Vietnam continues to strike that balance, its growth story could soon become one of the most remarkable in Asia's modern economic history. As 2026 approaches, the world is watching closely. Can Vietnam truly pull off double-digit growth while maintaining stability and discipline? Experts seem to think so, but they agree that the next year will be critical. The groundwork laid in 2025, through steady policy, expanding exports, and robust domestic demand, will determine whether Vietnam can make the leap from resilience to remarkable. If it succeeds, it won't just be an economic victory. It will be a validation of sound governance and strategic vision. For now, optimism runs high. Investors are paying attention, and as Vietnam continues to balance ambition with caution, it's clear that this Southeast Asian nation is no longer the underdog. It's fast becoming one of the region's most promising success stories.